Welcome back to Vivid Racing. I'm Aaron, and today we are flashing the ECU, oh boy, on our Nissan Z. All right, first we got some bad news though. We sold the Z. What was that?
I can definitely get down and dirty.
469.
But before she's gone forever, she's back for one last hurrah. Oh gosh. This is harder to do with one hand than I expected. Now, if you remember, we did put the VR Tune tuning box on the car, and that was an awesome addition to get some plug-and-play performance. The tuning box plugs directly into the existing engine harness, and then you just mount the box somewhere safe. Then you pair it to your phone and you're off to the races. So we had our fun with the tuning box, and it's time to try something new. And so we're moving on to this AMS Performance custom ECU calibration. Now, there's a few different tiers to this ECU Flash, and I'll explain all that later, but all you need to know for now is that this is their Quick Flash. And tying this ECU Flash together with all our different bolt-on mods that we've put on so far, we really want to see how much power it's making. So it's finally happening. We are putting the Z on the dyno to see how much power it's making at the wheel. But that leads me to my next point. All right, so here's the deal. Today is actually the first time that our Z, the Z you've seen in all of these videos, this is the first time it's ever been on the dyno and made a run. When we originally installed the tuning box on the Z, our original plan for that video was to run it on the dyno to show you exactly how much power it made. But we ran into a little bit of a problem. We pulled the car in, we were starting to strap it down, and we immediately noticed that the car, because we had lowered it, and it now had this thick 3-inch stainless steel exhaust. I don't know if you guys know this, but the factory exhausts on these things are basically a straw. So we filled up all of the available space with this 3-inch exhaust, and that tied together with the lowered ride height, it was bottoming out. It would have damaged parts if we had fully tightened it down to the dyno and ran it as it sat. Now, we were in a huge time crunch. There were a ton of moving pieces at the time. We unfortunately had to opt out of running the car on the dyno for that video, but that changes today. Because this morning, I already spent some time, I put the car on the lift, took the wheels off, adjusted the coilovers so we could get some more ride height out of them, and we can finally get an answer as to how much power our Z is making with these bolt-ons and this new ECU Flash. All right, since I have this exposed, I thought I'd quickly talk about what coilovers we're running on the car. And so for those who don't know, the Z does not run true coils in the rear. So we have the spring mounted in the bucket here, and then the shock absorber is mounted independently. But that doesn't mean we don't get the perks of coilovers. You still get all the ride height adjustment, you can change the stiffness, you still get all of that customization and ride adjustability. I do believe there are kits that you can convert this to a true coil, but we opted out for an OE fit, which is just plug and play performance. So these are the HKS Hyper Max Rs. These are an amazing coilover. They're great for daily driving, and you can even do some track stuff with them. Very high quality, very high end, definitely recommend. They are slightly on the pricier side, but you're getting more than just a coilover. You're getting a premium quality brand. You're getting a great warranty that comes with them as well. So for those who are interested in coilovers, these are a great option, but if you don't want to spend as much money, there's also the BC Racing VR series, and those are an incredible value for a coilover. So we're gonna keep this party moving along by adjusting these coilovers real quick. We gotta raise the car up so it's not rubbing on the dyno. Not trying to break anything today. So we're gonna hurry up, get this going, so we can keep this party cruising. Okay, so let's talk about this ECU Flash a little bit. Now, AMS has developed a ton of great products for the RZ34 platform, and that is no different in the tuning department. So they have teamed up with Ecutek to create these ECU Flashes. And at the time of filming, they are actively still developing this and refining it and making it better and better. And like I said earlier, there are a few different variations of what you can do with these Flash tunes. And what we're doing today to the Z is the most basic, and that is their Quick Flash. With the Quick Flash comes this little kit. It's pretty simple and straightforward. You get the Ecutek OBD2 adapter, USB cable, plug this into your computer, follow the instructions, flash the tune, and you're off to the races. That's as simple gets to flash your ECU, and you're gonna get quite a bit more performance out of it. But you should note there isn't really any customization with this ECU Flash. It is what it is. You put it on your car, and you're going. So if you want to go a little bit farther than just doing the basic flash tune, you can absolutely do that. And this is kind of where it becomes like customization a la carte. You can add things like switching between different maps, different fuels, adding a launch control, having like a drag racing map. All of that is possible with the custom calibration. However, if you want to go down this route of customization, you absolutely should contact one of our performance specialists. They can smooth out this process for you and make sure you get exactly what you need for your ECU Flash. I mean, anybody at this level who's going to dive into that knows there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. So it's very important we get all the information correct. So definitely contact one of our performance specialists if you want to go down the custom route. And to top off the ECU flashes, AMS has developed what is called the Alpha 5 package. Now let me be very clear about this. The Alpha 5 package is not a tune or ECU flash or any of that. It is simply the bolt-on parts to add a significant amount of horsepower to your Z. It comes with a cold air intake, the same one that we have on our car, has the heat exchanger, the same one that we have on our car, but it also has a full kit to run E85. You tie that together with the custom ECU calibration that is 100% necessary to run the Alpha 5 package. And here's the crazy part. AMS advertises that the Alpha 5 package will get your Z up to 500 horsepower on E85. And this is what is getting me hyped for today. If you think about it, we have basically half of the Alpha 5 package. We have the cold air intakes, we have the heat exchanger, we don't have E85, but we do have upgraded downpipes with high flow cats, and we have a full 3-inch exhaust. We really do have a lot of opportunity to move a lot of air with this car. So 500 horsepower, no, but how close can we get? I've been thinking about this, and I think we'll hit around 450 at the wheel. Fuel plays a huge part in this equation, but I don't know. I just keep thinking 450. So if we get around that range, I think that is really great for what we have. All that being said, I'm tired of talking about it. So I'm gonna open up this door. I'm gonna pull the Z over. We're gonna get this thing fired up and finally figure out how much power our Nissan Z makes with all these bolt-ons and this new ECU Flash. Let's party.
Oh, it's cold!
Shane, how many years of training do you have to make sure you strap this unit down properly?
17 years of experience. This is my second time doing it. Uh-oh.
No, that's too far. Yeah, wait.
Grab her down. Do the montage.
So the car is strapped to the dyno and we are cruising along, but first we need to calibrate the dyno to the car. So we have, on the computer side of things, we've set everything up to know what kind of car it is, and then we make a couple calibration runs, and after the calibration runs, we then get into the power runs. And at that point, we should have some good numbers to show you guys. All right, I gotta interrupt for just a quick second. If you guys are interested in any of these parts that are on the Z, check out all of the links in the description. And as an added bonus, and this is brand new to the YouTube channel, for our YouTube viewers specifically, if you use the links in the description below, you will get a discount on the prices. Whether you plan on buying now or even in the future, make sure you come back to this video and use the links in the description. You can't get this discount anywhere else. Why wouldn't you want to save a few bucks on all your car parts? The more money you save now, the more money you can spend on car parts later. Easy math. Doesn't matter what you're shopping for, we've got it all at Vivid Racing, so make sure you check out the links in the description to save a few bucks in your pocket. From the factory, this Proto Z made 392 or 398 or something like that. It was high 390s. That was completely stock. You know what we've done to this car. What do you think she's gonna hit right now? The weather's good.
A crisp 420.
What do you think she's gonna make?
Our Proto Z made, what, 380? I'm gonna say 460. This is Truth and Consequences on the Heartbreak dyno, so it could be less. I don't know. We'll see. I really have no idea. So the Alpha 5 package on E85 makes 500. We are not on E85. Yeah.
We're on 91. I'm a solid 448. 448 torque, 443 horsepower.
We'll say 460.
460. Shane's got 420.
What do you say?
All right, you guys got to meet Sydney. All right, this is Sydney. She's new to the team. Sydney, you have no idea about this car so far.
No. I'm gonna say 420.
420?
Shane. Yep.
All right, 420 it is. That's 2 for 420. Calibrated. If I was to guess, it sounds a little rich, so I think I'm gonna back my 450 down to like 425. I said 425.
You gotta stick with
I'm sticking. I gotta stick with my guess. 450. No, 448.
469.
I said like 440 something. All right, the calibration is done. Time to hit our power runs. This is in 4th gear. Let's see what she makes. I see 467. 467.
You know, that's really close to 469.
I eased into it a little bit. I can definitely get down and dirty.
Okay, so we officially have our dyno numbers from our Nissan Z with all of its bolt-ons, plus this Ecutek Quick Flash from AMS. I will say, before we dive into it, I am really impressed with the results we received on the dyno. This was significantly more than I expected. Couple quick disclaimers before I show you guys these graphs. Number one, our Mustang dyno is notorious for running low numbers. We always kind of take that into account when we're looking at these maximum output numbers on the dyno sheets. The maximum numbers are awesome, those are cool, but that's not what you're really looking for. You're looking for increases in power and the deltas in between them. We're just looking at that delta, so we can say this is a 100 horsepower increase if that is the scenario. And second, you should always take note of all the different variables that go into making a dyno run. Things like the type of fuel you're running, the temperature, humidity, elevation, and even the dyno you're on or the tuner behind the keyboard can have a lot of impact on how much power your car can make. And lastly, it is really important that we should note that the stock numbers we're comparing to are not from our Z. So the stock numbers that we're comparing to today are from the yellow Z Proto that we made a couple videos on last year and we helped develop our VR-Tune tuning box with. So that car had quite a bit of dyno time and there was never really a reason for us to throw our stock Nissan Z on the dyno because they are the same car. Yes, they were different trim levels, but in terms of performance and power, they were identical. So it's safe to say they would both be within that margin of error that would come from the factory, just like any stock vehicle. So really quickly, Nissan does state that the Z makes 400 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque from the factory. Let's look at what we made stock in that yellow Z Proto. All right, so first off, torque, 409 foot-pounds of torque. Kind of wild considering that is 60 foot-pounds of torque higher than what they quote from the factory. Horsepower, we made 378 horsepower. That one makes a lot more sense because you're going to see that 15 to 20% drivetrain loss plus the dyno, running 901 fuel octane. If they're quoting 400, you make 379 horsepower. That checks out. That makes sense. I was pretty impressed to see that it made 410 foot-pounds of torque, 380 horsepower. I thought that was pretty good. That checks out almost identically from what Nissan says. It's just more torque, which is, I think, kind of surprising. Moving on to our Nissan Z with all of its bolt-ons. Let's very quickly recap all the bolt-ons that are on the Z. We have the AMS cold air intake, we have the AMS heat exchanger, and then moving on to the exhaust side of the engine, we replaced the factory downpipes with the Armytrix high flow cats. And then moving on from the downpipes, we did upgrade the exhaust to our VR Performance 3-inch stainless steel Valvetronic exhaust. So if we're gonna look at all of our bolt-ons from a 10,000 foot level, all we've done is improve how it breathes in air, cools air, and exhausts air. And then you tie that all together with a really good tune, the whole engine is gonna perform that much better. And realistically, we didn't do that much to it in terms of power adding to get a significant increase out of the car. So now, if you remember our previous guesses, Shane and Sydney thought it was gonna make 420 horsepower, Dylan thought it was gonna be 460, and I said 450. Well, I think I said 448, if I'm being specific. We were all wrong. We were all extremely wrong. Let's look at the numbers. The Z made 477 horsepower and 488 foot-pounds of torque by literally just adding a cold air intake, a heat exchanger, a full exhaust system, and then tying it all together with a proper ECU Flash. We gained essentially 110 horsepower and 80 foot-pounds of torque. That's a significant amount of power to add to any vehicle. To say I'm blown away by this is an understatement.
Well, that about wraps everything up, which means the final chapter, that is the Vivid Racing Nissan Z, has officially come to a close. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this series as much as I have. You know, starting the Z project was right around the same time that I started working here at Vivid Racing. This project will kind of always hold a special place in my heart. It was a lot of fun. You know, I look back and wish I had done a couple things differently with these videos, but you know, how else are we gonna get better? Now, although that chapter may be coming to a close, there are new ones starting. There's a bunch of projects in the works right now that I am extremely excited about and can't wait to share with you guys. So make sure you guys are subscribed, hit that bell notification. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button and leave us a comment. What did you think about the Z series? What's your favorite part about this ECU Flash? Just give us your thoughts, let us hear. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see you guys next time. Peace.